right, it is a feel-good Friday right here at TV47. This is TV47 breakfast on a Friday.
Yes.
Hata sisikii baridi.
Ai, mimi nasikia baridi.
Lakini mimi najua kenye nimefanya ndio sisikii baridi.
Ai.
Kama unasikia baridi, pole kwa. Karibu sana. This is the best show that could wake you up anywhere in this side of Africa.
I agree.
Ushasikia kuna ingine wanamsha watu vizuri?
Hakuna. Kutakuaje jamani?
How hot is your coffee?
One and only. One and only.
Karibu sana. My name is Fred Indimuli. Okay, it's 2 days to Father's Day.
Yeah.
So tushaingia hiyo mood ya ku-appreciate baba zetu. Anyway, wacha niachie Ann kidogo. Naweza ongea sana.
It's allowed, it's allowed. My name is Annie Odida. Karibu sana to TV47 breakfast. Nakwambia niko na sore throat ingine mbaya. Sijui kama unasikia ni kama niko na base. But I'm trying to talk in a way that nice. Okay, thank you. Sasa before tuanze show nimesikia director akisema tunafaa kwa tukianza show on Friday na muziki. I endorse that message with everything I have.
Is it just music or dance?
Music iko sawa sababu kudance na sijui kudance. Lakini hapo kwa muziki I endorse. Yes, so Father's Day will be this Sunday. Today we are dedicating the show to fathers, to dads. Sasa kama unataka kupigia baba yako simu, ebu tutakupatia namba. Wacha hata tuweke hiyo namba sahihi kwa screen.
Alafu mimi nina request. I have a very special request to all the ladies out there. We love you, we appreciate you. You took Valentine's Day, you took Mother's Day, you took Women's International Day. Please, just leave this one. There's always that group of women who come out and say, oh, you know, I've taken care of my children alone, so now happy Father's Day to me. Really? No, acha hiyo maneno. Tuliza boli. Tutakuachia hata mashujaa day kwa yako. Hiyo acha. Kwani
dads wasemange wale dads were taking care of the kids alone. Wasemange happy Mother's Day to them.
Do you know something funny is that most fathers don't even know that Father's Day is just this weekend. They have no clue. In fact, I think I just came to learn because it was part of the news. Yeah. Hata mimi sikuwa najua kuna Father's Day. I thought ilikuwa ishapita.
You know, inakuanga na June's Men's Mental Health Month. Sasa ukisikia ni Men's Mental Health Month, jua to Father's Day is also that month.
It's very important to appreciate your father. It is very important. Most of the time, and this is a discussion we were having yesterday, dads are the people who go out and do everything for everyone else and just talk to themselves, rarely break down, rarely falter. They're just there providing, taking care. As in wana sort watu. But who sorts out dads? Yeah. Nani anashughulikia dads?
Unajua yesterday when you were doing that interview, then I remembered nikitoka through that door. I remembered I forgot to ask you because now the conversation was about Mr. Fixer, who takes care of the man who fixes things. Do you think you're a Mr. Fixer?
I don't know, but I guess I do. To a huge extent, my whole day, 90% of my day is spent just thinking about other people around me. It's not about myself. Because I'm always just doing something. Or sijui huyu anataka nini, huyu amesema nini, huyu ako na shida fulani. And that's what you do the whole day. Especially as a dad. That's what you do. And they know that, especially when you're a father, that you're the one person they can turn to at whatever time of day. Hawaona ati ntangoja ati
as they should. I support.
I want. Sasa, and there's, you know, even in the Bible they say, can your child ask you for
fish and you give
and then you give him a snake? You can't.
You can't.
So fathers are mostly fixers. The very few fathers who are not fixers, I don't know.
Those ones who went to get milk.
I don't think I've met them anyway. So to all fathers out there, salute.
Salute. Once again, we're dedicating the show to fathers ahead of Father's Day this weekend. On Sunday, tutawapatia very good deals later on the show. So very wonderful show lined up for you this morning. It's International Box Day. Wamesema sijui ni cards and cardboard boxes waekwe hapo ndani. Something to do with cats being put in boxes. It's also
cats being put in boxes.
Wacha nikufungilie hiyo kitu ndio tusome vizuri, si ndio? So that I don't go shallow on it. How to celebrate International Box Day. Cat owners can show how much they care for their cats by celebrating International Box Day with sourcing a box for a kitty. Yeah. You're told to pick the right size, add a soft layer, create more than one entrance, make it a quiet zone, watch some funny cat videos. So I think it's about people who are cat owners. Yeah.
Okay. I may not relate because
Same, I don't relate.
Cats and me.
Yeah.
No.
But here at TV47 we have very wonderful cats. My favorite is Ginger.
Ginger. Oh,
Ginger is my favorite
I
cat.
always see that Ginger guy being in the newsletter, the weekly newsletter every time. And I wonder what's so special about that cat.
Ginger.
Yeah.
You know, if you go there behind, that ukitoka hapa nje utampata, and then when you say Ginger, ataitika, and he will come.
Anyway.
Ginger, you know, we even carry Ginger around.
Let's stick to Father's Day because I think
It's also a lot is happening. Yeah, let me put you on. It's also World Sauntering Day. Jamani, nowadays they're very crazy days. But it's World Sickle Cell Day.
Okay.
That is very notable. It's also International Day for the Elimination of Sexual Violence in Conflict.
In conflict areas.
Yes. Yeah, so these are the days being celebrated globally.
All right.
Yep.
Locally, big talking points, of course, one of them is the finance bill. It was passed yesterday in the National Assembly by a majority of members of the National Assembly yesterday. Quite a number of opposition MPs opposed it, but it has been passed. It is set for assent by the president anytime now because it needs to be ready before the end of the month. Mutadu. But the thing is about this finance bill, and I think I'm not so sure why people are opposing it, because even the members of parliament, and I think they were caught unawares, those opposing it, walichezwa mchezo moja deadly sana, because what happened was, initially there were so many clauses included in the bill, and those people read them, but they did not participate in
voting.
After, no, the amendments that came after. So your MP comes in front of the National Assembly, debates, and even quotes a clause number 169 or something. Alafu anaambia, look at the document you have. Where is clause 169? Meaning, he read an older version of the document. And it's not just one MP. Enough MPs have been caught unawares. But then again, it's a parliamentary document. Mbona hujaisoma kabla ukuje kuongea?
Yeah.
Kazi yako umelipo ufanye hivi kama mbunge. Then you come addressing the National Assembly and you're not aware that some clauses have been removed.
13th Parliament.
Tutakusaidia namna gani?
Most detached. Shenzi sana.
Then, okay, you've just thrown me off.
Si ukweli? Shenzi sana.
That JKIA deal, the airport deal, is also a big discussion today. We'll be looking at that. But, of course, the World Cup continues. Let's give you an update. Mexico, South Korea. Mexico won 1-0. Canada, into a proper drubbing. They beat Qatar by 6-0. Bao sita. Unaenda World Cup unachapa mabao sita. Bila jibu. You need to call yourself for a meeting, surely. Canada, does Canada even play football? Na wanachapa Qatar, who hosted the World Cup. Yeah? Wache mchezo. Czechia beat South Africa. This game we didn't even watch. We don't even know why it should matter, because it's not our job to support some teams. It is their job. And we don't want to take your jobs. Yeah. Switzerland beat Bosnia and Herzegovina by 4-1. Those are the latest updates. We'll be telling you the matches to look forward to today when we look at the dailies.
Sifuna also survived PPDT.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Sifuna survived. We'll be telling you more about that when you look at the dailies. That story is inside there.
Yeah. Yes, so interact with us through our socials.
Yes.
TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube. On X, it's TV47 Digital. Use the hashtag TV47 Breakfast.
Hashtag story ni yetu.
My handle is at Annie_Dida.
Mine is at Fred in the
Tuangalie hali ya anga kunakaa vipi. All right, TV47 headquarters in Nairobi, and it's drizzling in Nairobi this morning. Let's see how the weather is looking across the country. We start off in Kajiado County. It's a partly sunny day today, 23 degrees. Today, this morning is 14 degrees. Kiambu County, it's a partly sunny day. 14 degrees this morning, highs of 23 degrees. Then Nairobi, yes, light rains expected today. 16 degrees this morning, highs of 23 degrees. That's as far as Kajiado, Kiambu, and Nairobi counties are concerned. Kakamega is a mostly cloudy day. 18 degrees this morning, highs of 27 degrees. Makueni, it's a mostly cloudy day. 16 degrees this morning, highs of 29 degrees. And Isiolo, 19 degrees this morning, highs of 30 degrees in Isiolo County. That's the state of the weather.
The mood is definitely upbeat here on TV47 Breakfast, being a feel-good Friday. But let's get some inspiration this morning. Quote of the day.
Do one thing every day that scares you.
Quite many people are still scared. Do one thing that scares you every day. We are not scared.
We're not scared of anything. Tulisema jana, fear is the thief of joy. Yeah. Fear itself.
Nothing scares us. Yeah. All right.
Let's come back and take a look at the local dailies and regional dailies in depth. All right, we'll start off with the Standard this morning. Who's fooling whom? That's the question they're asking on the front page. Transparency, they say, as Transport CS Davis Chirchir dismisses reports linking Wicknell Chivayo's farm to the multi-billion shilling JKIA expansion and insists the project will cost no more than 154 billion shillings. Insiders tell a radically different story. Now, sources say the airport overhaul has merely been split into phases that could push the final bill beyond 310 billion shillings, raising questions about transparency, procurement, and financing. If no contractor has been selected, why are detailed figures and consortium names out? And if the project is only worth 154 billion shillings, why are insiders talking about a second phase almost as costly as the first? To end the back and forth, all the government needs to do is to make the contract public. Yes, Davis Chirchir is quoted here. He says, it is important to appreciate that this procurement is not solely for construction of a new passenger terminal. Rather, it encompasses rehabilitation of the existing terminals and airfield. This is a story that was captured in a different paper yesterday. The Standard is following up on it. Actually, the Standard walianza and this story.
They've really been on this story.
Yeah,
but I love the questions they're asking. Why this deal is not being revealed up front? Why does it appear that there's another deal over another deal? Yeah, there's a lot of questions being asked. Same thing like when the courts asked that the Ebola quarantine deal be made public. That's the same thing we're asking now. Kenya is asking and this paper is asking. How come you're just not making the deal public? Kwani airport ni ya nani?
Yes.
In our Kenya. Yeah, make the deal public. What's the big deal? Yeah.
Yep, so the government does not anticipate the contract award to exist 154.2 billion shillings. That is according to Transport CS Davis Chirchir. Lakini alisema Wicknell Chivayo is not even among the bidders.
Just make the deal public, then people will stop asking these questions.
Yes, because Wicknell Chivayo, now the name has come up several times. That story is on page 4. It's a very interesting read. You can grab a copy of the Standard and read it yourself. On the top strip, President has his way as MPs pass tax bill. What began as a promise to ease the tax burden ended in a bruising political battle as 122 MPs voted yes to pass the Finance Bill 2026 amid accusations of manipulation, executive interference, and a rushed legislative process. Now, while the government celebrated tax reliefs on key sectors and deletion of some unpopular proposals, Opposition MPs dismissed the changes as cosmetic, accusing the Treasury of repackaging punitive measures. That story has been captured on page 2. You know, right now, even if there's an opposition, there's nothing that can be done. 122 against 40. 40 hata hiyo sasa hata hakuna venye mtasaidiwa.
Irony of numbers. Kama hamuna numbers, kuna kitu mnasema.
Hiyo ni hot air and wild goose chase. That one is gone. That bill will be passed into law any time. Okay, that story is on page 2. There's a story on page 3. Grandchildren cannot claim their grandparents' property. Court rules.
A big one.
Yes.
Even if you have a rich grandfather, usiende kotini, you cannot, you have no right. Yeah, koti shasema. But I think the story down there is even more interesting.
Yes.
A man has been accused of spending entire wedding night chewing mogoka. And they've gone to court over this court. Bibi amesema huyu jamaa tumetoka harusi. Wedding night. Instead of consummating the marriage, jamaa anachew mogoka the whole night.
Shida iko wapi?
Alafu akichew mogoka, hapo ndio mwisho wa kazi.
Perform.
That's the end. That's the end. You know, these are the kind of stories you'll find on the Mwananchi.
Front page.
In Tanzania on the front page.
Anyway, lakini hajachew during the day. So it's understandable like
why chew during that time when you're supposed to be engaging in other activities?
No, spend the whole day up and down giving all your energy to guests and everyone who attended your big day. At least Wacha take some time to himself.
Well, the wife insists that mogoka actually makes him very docile.
You know, let me tell you, I've heard of stories where, you know, after the wedding day, a lot of couples don't engage in coitus on the first nights because, of course, of reasons. They're tired. Some do it even after a week.
No. This couple has lived together for quite a long time. But now the wife has moved back to her home in Lamu because amesema huyu jamaa ni mogoka tu.
That's a court. What did court say?
No, the court is yet to rule. The matter is just before court.
Court will say that is hot air anyway. On the back page of the Standard, Ken shines for England as Ronaldo's Portugal stumbled. 1-1 Portugal and DR Congo. Still, DR Congo did well. That's a draw.
Yeah. Ghana also performed very well against Panama. 1-0.
Yes.
Yeah. England, I think they just benefited from Arsenal players because it was a Declan Rice, one of the goals was from Declan Rice corner kick. Alafu kama vile watu wanasema Arsenal ni set piece team. Harry Kane was there to wait for that one and he made sure he scored. Kama si watu wa Arsenal, hiyo team ya England haikuwa mahali, haingekuwa mahali. Wafungaji wa bao ni wengine, lakini everyone who sets up the goal, yeah, has to be
Arsenal. That's correct.
Mwenye anakataa akatae tuone. All right. Let's take a look at the Daily Nation. And the Daily Nation on the front page, standoff over Gen Z protest. Yesterday was exactly a week before the second anniversary of the events of June 25th, 2025. And now we have a picture here of PLP leader Martha Karua, former Imenti Central MP Gitobu Manyara, and James Orengo joining relatives and victims of police brutality during a march to Jogoo House yesterday to notify the police chief of nationwide protests on June 25th. Sasa imekuwa official. The police chief has been notified. Yeah. So organizers of nationwide protests planned for June 25th to commemorate dozens of protesters killed during 2024 anti-government demonstrations have notified police and urged other Kenyans to stay at home next Thursday. Wengine wakae nyumbani. This call has, however, not gone down well with authorities who read malice and warn that although lawful marches won't be interfered with, attempts to disrupt normal operations will be resisted. Is this coded language for confrontation, they ask? Also, these organizers are asking people, okay, fine, musiende kazi. Yeah. Your Thursday, stay at home. That's what they're asking.
Yeah.
Don't go to the streets, just stay at home. Musiende kazi.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. Police wamesema, mbona mnaambia watu wasiende kazi?
Yeah.
Nyinyi mnaleta shida.
I was listening to Kennedy Onyango's mom, and she was asking for that day to be declared a public holiday, just to celebrate
if you know, there's some clever government officials who may actually do that and declare it a holiday to actually just diffuse anything that could happen. Once it's a holiday, that's it. You can go demonstrate anywhere. Shops will be closed, offices will be closed, so you can go ahead and demonstrate. Yeah. The story about the finance bill. Stormy session as MPs vote on finance bill. As I said, quite a number of opposition MPs who were opposing it found themselves in a very awkward position when they had to learn that some of the clauses were against don't even exist in the final bill. Yeah. Hapo kulikuwa na shida.
Don't be like your MPs.
Yeah?
Don't be like your MPs.
Don't be like that. But I think they were tricked into that. They walked into it because some of the amendments probably were just made a few minutes before it was tabled. So wale wanakumbuka Kenya walisoma. Lakini ile imefika bungeni, sio hiyo. Mambo tofauti. Other quick stories, state to borrow over 100 billion for airport upgrade. Lazima ideni ingia hapo kwa airports. Now that you've already talked about it on the front page of the Standard. Moving on quickly and swiftly, FIFA World Cup on the back page. Emotional, mental strength keep Congolese squad flying high. Remember, DRC held Portugal, ile ya Ronaldo Cristiano, to a 1-1 draw. DRC yenye hata nyinyi, salute to you. And that's the World Cup today. Australia faces the hosts USA at 10 p.m. And tomorrow Morocco versus Scotland. Morocco pia ni ile timu tu support sana sababu walipewa kikombe kwa Bodrum.
Yes.
Brazil versus Haiti at 3:30 a.m. Turkey and Paraguay 6 a.m. tomorrow. All these are tomorrow's games. Netherlands versus Sweden 8 p.m. tomorrow. And Cote d'Ivoire versus Germany 11 p.m. That's a big one. Ivory Coast is one of the recent AFCON champions. Now they'll be facing Germany, which is also a big team. 11 p.m. tomorrow. So that's the Daily Nation.
Taifa Leo, ukumbusho wa Gen Z wazua joto, ni habari hiyo tumezungumzia katika ukurasa wa mbele wa Daily Nation. Polisi waambia Gen Z andamaneni ndio, lakini bila fujo. Nao waandalizi wasema Juni tarehe 25 ni siku ya mapumziko. Sasa waandalizi wakisha declare that a public holiday without even a gazette notice.
The police are ready for confrontation with protesters on the streets on that day. The organizers are saying, just stay at home. What will police do?
Watakosa kazi hiyo siku.
Watakuwa na kazi.
Vidokezo zaidi, gavana na maafisa 10 kufungwa. Uni gavana wa Bomet akihukumiwa kifungo cha mwezi mmoja jela kwa kudharau amri ya mahakama. Ruto arushia magharibi ndoano. Rais aweka matumaini ya kisiasa katika miradi mikubwa ya miundombinu magharibi mwa nchi. Trump atishia kulipua Iran ikikiuka ahadi. Nchi hizo zilitia saini mkataba wa kusitisha vita vilivyoanza Februari mwaka huu. Ati Trump atishia kulipua Iran ikikiuka ahadi. Hii ni kama kuambiwa uoshe vyombo kama ulikuwa umeplan kuosha. Sasa nao utaosha because umeambiwa uoshe. Now imagine if Iran
your story imetoka wapi?
If Iran
comparison.
Now listen, if Iran inaambiwa msianze fujo, na wako wamepanga kwanza hiyo fujo. Sasa wataanza hiyo fujo. Anyway. Kule juu zaidi, rekodi watahiniwa milioni 3.5 wakisajiliwa mitihani wa NANEC. Na masuala ya spoti pia, Uingereza, Ghana, DRC ni raha tu. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa 20 Taifa Leo.
Tuangazie the Weekend Star. Actually, it's a heavy paper today because it has the siasa pullout. But on the main story here is an interesting story that happened a few days ago in the National Assembly. Bang divides MPs push for change of law. Seme MP. Seme.
Yes.
Your MP. Your very own.
Yes.
However, cautions against conflating medicinal value with unrestricted use.
Doctor who?
Anaitwa Dr.
James Nyikal.
James Nyikal. Alikuanga head of medical services.
Oh, yes, hii ni chair health committee.
Hii ndio story kubwa sana, page 2. Wanasema okay, ameanza na ule MP wa Kibra kidogo. Bang debate splits bunge as MPs push for law change. Ugenya MP shares a deeply personal account of how Bang helped him manage back pain. So MPs are discussing whether or not to legalize Bang in Kenya. I'm sure many people would support this. Many people wenye nawajua ni wengi sana. Wengi. Nikianza kutaja majina wataanza kupigana, lakini anyway, wanaweza support hibi. Anyway, that's the main story. It's on page 2. You can read more on that. They discussed it in Parliament and debated it quite at length.
There's a woman who said anyone who is not consuming Bang is weird.
Then I'm very weird.
Woman rep in this country,
then
yes.
I am the weirdest person.
Yes. Hadi akaulizwa na Speaker National Assembly, what do you mean? I have never consumed it.
Are you weird?
I am very weird.
Okay. Don't question our sobriety. Other stories given prominence here. We have President Ruto warning Kenya and Africa that will not accept exploitation. So why is Kenya being warned here? Anyway, he's taken a picture inside a vessel in the port of Mombasa while he was attending our ocean conference, which is going on at the coastal city. HIV ravages children as 14,000 Kenyans catch virus. You know, people think that HIV is gone. Yeah? It is still there. It's ravaging children. That's on page 3. Yeah? Nearly 14,000 Kenyans contracted HIV last year. The epidemic continues to hit children, adolescents, and young women the hardest. Yeah. Where the figures also show the epidemic continues to hit children and adolescents. Yeah. Where? Very interesting.
Now, Daily Nation is reporting that Kenya reduces new HIV infections by over half.
Even if, okay, fine, it could be true.
Yeah.
The reduction, but the numbers still remain high, relatively high. 14,000 ni wengi sana in 1 year, surely. It's like 1,000 plus every month. Yeah. Arsenal fans, something to look forward to. Arsenal fever hits City as Ruto invites the Gunners. So President William Ruto has extended an invitation to the English Premier League champions. Wakuje Kenya. Aliangalia ile match na akaangalia ile reaction ya Kenyans. You know, it was a whole week of celebrations. Watu wako wanaenda kazi, watu wali apply for leave, wakavaa jazi the whole week. President akasema, maybe iko kura up. Anyway, hajasema hivyo lakini I may invite Arsenal officially. I don't know if what their reaction will be, but it would be nice if we could see Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka in Kenya.
How much would that cost to bring those guys here?
Oh, I would be on the street that day. If it happens, I'll be on the street.
With whose money? Where to
my money. President William Ruto has invited Arsenal Football Club to visit Kenya in 2027. Mbona 2027? Interesting. Back page, Ghana in the mood. Ghana beat which country? Panama. 1-0. That's a story on the back page, including that invitation to Arsenal on the back page of the Star. Get yourself a copy of this paper, Weekend Star. It comes with a siasa pullout for the weekend, where Waikangata political game has now paid dividends. That's a Weekend Star.
All right, tuangalie People Daily and Business Daily quickly. Ruto loyalists close ranks ahead of high-stakes 2027 showdown. That's the People Daily. They call it foot soldiers. President's team has become the public face of state counter-narrative at a time when opposition, former DP Rigathi Gachagua and civil society groups have intensified criticism of the administration. This story is on page 4. His foot soldiers are here: Kimani Ichung'wah, Farouk Kibet, Susan Kihika, Didmas Barasa, Osoro, Moses Kuria, Oscar Sudi, and Samson Cherargei. That's the People Daily. Business Daily: how Treasury officials stole 1.5 billion shillings from UN project. Part of the cash spent on properties in Nairobi, Athi River, and Eldoret. EACC gets court note to seize the assets. That story is on page 2. On the Tika State House, global trips budget crosses record 1 billion shillings mark. Total spending by State House on foreign travel surpassed 1 billion shillings over the 9 months to March 2026, marking a record expenditure and underscoring the taxpayers' burden from increased trips abroad. Yes, sahi imeongezeka pia. That's the Business Daily.
All right. Let's go to Uganda now. We have only one paper. That's a New Vision today, talking about pension scheme for mayors and LC5, that's local council leaders at the level 5. Local government leaders now will have to forfeit gratuity. That's the main story on this paper. To move on, moving on to Tanzania, we start off with the Citizen. What to expect as US-Iran set to finalize peace deal? At least they're looking forward to what happens. You remember the cartoon yesterday was indicating that Kenyans and Kenyan leaders are at a loss. Strait of Hormuz ikifunguka, what excuse will they have to continue charging high prices for fuel? We are already in Tanzania, the Citizen. Gazeti la the Citizen kule Bongo, yes. What to finalize peace deal? So Bale wanasema Tanzanian could begin seeing relief from soaring fuel prices and transport costs following a preliminary agreement signed by the US and Iran aimed at ending months of conflict that has rattled global energy markets. You remember the Ukraine war Na kila mtu alikuwa anasema hata kukosana na bibi yako ni Ukraine war. Sasa Strait of Hormuz ndio imeleta shida. Kila mtu Strait of Hormuz is closed, so kuna shida. Sasa itafunguliwa, ni kama imefunguliwa, utasingizia nini? Gazeti la Mwananchi kule Bongo, mawaziri watuliza presha muungano, wakemea kauli za mgawanyiko baina ya bara na visiwani. Waziri mkuu aeleza utaratibu wa matibabu wa pande zote, wenzake wasema kuna upotoshaji, wataja manufaa iliyopata Zanzibar. Ni siasa tu kati ya kisiwa cha Zanzibar na visiwa vingine kama Pemba na Tanganyika. Ilikuwa inaitwa Tanganyika. Mainland Tanzania, bara. Gazeti la Mwananchi. All right, let's come back home and take a look at the cartoons, and we start off with the People Daily, Stano's take. So we have a police boss here briefing the press, but behind him stands watu wenye sura tinginya, goons wamebeba na wengi hawana meno. Goons. Now the police boss says anyone found working with the goons will face the full force of the law. Yet the main accusation is that it's police working with the goons. Yet they're the long arm of the law. So can they face themselves? Look into the mirror. That's the People Daily.
All right. Tuangalie the one on the Daily Nation talks about voting yesterday, ile ya finance bill. There's parliament there. There's a large voting machine. Parliament has been captured as a very large voting machine, ama ballot box. Sasa hiyo mikono hapo ina insert finance bill 2026, maybe suggesting the bill is being put through
actually,
the parliamentary voting process.
On one frame, it's Finance Bill 2024, and now the second one, Finance Bill 2026.
Oh, yeah.
So I think the Finance Bill 2024 put a lot of pressure on Parliament, but this time round, it has actually split Parliament right in the middle. Yeah.
So did Parliament generally scrutinize it? Ama was the outcome largely determined by the numbers in the House? Did they scrutinize it this year?
Do you think they scrutinized it, if at all they are forced to withdraw?
Waliona Wakenya mjali. Wakaona nyinyi.
Wabunge mnatufurahisha sana. Unasema close 169 na hakuna. Hapo ulichezwa. By the way, I don't blame that MP. I think alichezwa.
Maybe alikuwa mouthpiece ya mtu.
There must have been a close 169. But they were very clever to make sure that the final bill that comes, they know that is a point of contention. Wanaitoa tu alafu wanangojea useme close 169 na wakwambia iko wapi tuonyeshe. The cartoon on the Standard has a caricature of the president. President William Ruto at the G7 is speaking at the podium and telling the top countries in the world, treat Africa as a partner, not as a beggar. But while he's saying that, he's holding a begging bowl. Anaambia watu mbeho mbeho. That's the cartoon on the Standard.
Finally, the one on the Star, yes, the flying head of state, flying around the world, capturing or coming back with deals, jobs, infrastructure. Yes, the flying head of state. That is the new cartoonist on the Star. Ulisema ni mgeni?
Ni mgeni.
Amesema rais ni flying head of state. Anaenda huko
na anakuja na goodies.
Na goodies akitoka huko.
Huyu kwani anaitwa Tony huyu ama anaitwa nani? New cartoonist.
Tony, ni kama ni Tony.
Tony. Anyway.
All right, these are the stories making headlines locally and regionally. Should we take a look at Good Morning Kenya ama tuangalie traffic kwanza?
All right, let's take a quick look at the traffic situation on major roads in and around the city this morning. Eastern Bypass kule kwa kina Momza wa cameraman kumeshikana deadly all the way in Utawala. Hata uwezi pita pale Quickmart all the way up to the KQ headquarters roundabout, bumper to bumper. After that it eases a bit, but once you get closer to Cabanas, in a build up again. A bit of traffic on Outer Ring Road, especially around Tumaini Estate, pale ni pale further Tasia, as matatus carry passengers towards town. Jogoo Road is already building up at Makadara all the way to Mbotela. Once you get to Shauri Moyo heading towards the City Stadium roundabout, it eases up slightly, building up again once you get into town after Landis Road roundabout on both sides of Haile Selassie Avenue within the CBD. The other major highway is Thika Road. Thika Road kama kawaida hapo unajuanga kuna shida, but not so bad today at Githurai. Just a long stretch of yellow, pale Clayworks. and KQ. But once you get Kasarani, kidogo, it eases up. Then immediately after Mountain Mall, builds up again, eases after Allsops, and builds up again at Utalii Drift, going up Pangani Interchange. Kiambu Road today is looking good. Not much traffic even at Muthaiga as you get to the Pangani Interchange. Mombasa Road, green all the way from the airport to the CBD. Ile airport ambayo tunasema inaenda kutengenezwa upya. Alafu upande ile ingine, Waiyaki Way, smooth driving into the CBD. A bit of traffic on this road hapa inaitwaje, James Gishuru Road. Ukitembea towards Lavington, coming from Waiyaki Way, there's a bit of traffic hapo. I don't know why. Kuna kuanga ile junction pale Msongari, huwa inaleta shida sana. Ngong Road Junction Mall is building up slowly because of the lights. Prestige Plaza also same problem. And once you get to the City Mortuary roundabout, a bit of traffic there. But other than that, typical Friday traffic, watu wengi hawajaamka mapema sana. So if you're hoping to get into the CBD, the best time to leave is now. All right, as promised earlier, yes, it is a Feel Good Friday here at TV47 Breakfast. And in anticipation of Father's Day, we continue appreciating fathers. Great dads out there, Mr. Fixers. Asanteni sana for just being who you are.
All right. We are telling us TV47 Happy Father's Day. Who is the father figure that has impacted your life the most? Send them a special message of appreciation and let us know where you're watching TV47 Breakfast from. Sasa, we see you already meamka. That is very good. Moses Omurwa from Kisii, Bosongo, Chiduka, my late dad for bringing up the family we are in. Mamake Maya Wakush anasema mine is in heaven and he was the best. Thanks John Thuku and other uncles for trying to step in his shoes. We don't take it for granted. Baraka Tele. Efia Ward says, Happy Father's Day to my dad. Migiro Jared says, Amon Nyansera Abdirahim Mohamed Ali. We ametag baba yake. God bless you anytime, good people. Okay. Akasema he's watching from Ruai. It's good to see you guys. Migiro, Efi, Mamake, Maya Wakush, and Moses Omurwa. Tukisonga tena mbele, Wilson Rotich anasema, Kahi Ambuku. May God grant you good health and long life, sir. You impacted my life positively. May Almighty God reward you. Yes, Wilson, we endorse that message. Walter Brown Onyango, Happy Father's Day in heaven, Dad. It's only been 2 months since you left, and not a day goes by that I don't miss you. Thank you for your love, guidance, and sacrifices. I'll carry your memory in my heart forever. Rest peacefully, Dad, until we meet again. Pole sana Walter. This one is still very fresh. Oliver Khan says, Happy Father's Day to all Luya men. Hey! Oliver, okay. Happy Basi Freddy is a Luya man.
Thank you very much. Let me say on behalf of all Luya men, thank you very much.
Yes, so tulikuwa tumewambia pia kutakuwa na deal. So mnaambiwa Father's Day is around the corner. And they're saying that these years keep the socks and ties and give dads what they really deserve. What do dads deserve? What do you think dads deserve?
A lot of appreciation. Yeah, and not just by gifts. Even just telling your father thank you. You know, we are really thanked for what we do as fathers. Leo ambia mzee asante. Yeah, sio tu nambaya handkerchief. Mwambie tu asante. What you've done, thank you.
Nice. So this Sunday, the 21st of June, that will be Father's Day, starting 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There will be a mouth-watering, slow-smoked BBQ, live country music, top DJs spinning great vibes all day, fun outdoor activities for the whole family. And the best part, your tickets include food. Unajua chakula inakuanga very important at any event. Tusiite watu event bila chakula. So, family tables for 3 to 8 guests available. from 9,000 Kenyan shillings to 21,500. Corporate and group packages also available. Yeah, I'm putting you on, guys. So this isn't just another Father's Day, it's a full day family experience packed with great food, music and memories. Mnaambiwa dad deserves feast, not another pair of socks. Sawa? Unaona venye wameinsist you're not another pair of socks. Take note of that. So we'll be giving out tickets on the show hapa TV47 breakfast. Yule atakuwa na very touching message, tutakupatia ticket. Tell us that question we asked. Yeah, the one you're commenting on pale Facebook and on YouTube. Who is the father figure that has impacted your life the most? Send them a special message of appreciation and let us know where you're watching TV47 breakfast and stand a chance to win yourself a ticket to the BBQ mouth-watering event. We'll dance beer to country music, courtesy of TV47 breakfast. Sindio? We are putting you on na great things, great deals hapa on this show. Show gani tena itafanya hivi jamani?
Wapi kwingine? Wewe umeona show kama hii wapi?
Wapi? Hebu tuambie ukitubet. Tuonyeshe show tunakupatia 5,000 from me. Yes. Yes, that is true story.
Sasa napungua kabla haijaingia.
Ati nafungua kabla haijaingia. Wewe heira. Yes, so interact with us through our socials. TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube. On X, TV47 Digital. Our WhatsApp line is also active. You can send your feedback hapo kwa WhatsApp line. It's 0793 267 279. Who do you have?
Today, the youth perspective. Nick Mwangi, Vera Chepkorir and Hans Rop. Some of familiar faces here, political analysts of a younger generation. Takuwa hapa akishare with us what they feel about what has been happening this week. Of course, key among them, the discussion and voting on the finance bill. That's a big, big discussion. Yeah, later on I can see we're going country.
We'll be going country.
Yeah, Pitmaster Sam, founder Barbecue Adventures and Events Kenya, will be having a street anthem barbecue. And of course, it's a country music edition of DJ Bluey 254. Something to look forward to.
All right.
If you love country music.
Absolutely.
This is a place to be. Show gani ingine kama hii? Wewe umeona wapi?
Yes. 5,000 ukituonyesha. Taggers, my handle is at Annie_Dida.
Mine is at Fred Ndimuli on X.
Use the hashtag TV47 breakfast, hashtag story ni yetu, story ni yako, story ni yangu.
Story ni yetu.
See you after the break.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m.
Good morning.
You have my rent?
Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza simu yako.
Hamna pesa. I need 3 G's to make my nails today.
Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimewekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Ikikunyuma.
Oh my God. He left me. Nitumie ni live.
Uko nje kuna wifi.
Why? Hi-Fi?
Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
I have no idea.
The cucumbers are there specifically for my beauty routine.
Tangulini kero umeka kwa beauty product.
Na ameenda.
Tunafaa tukuwe na logo yetu. Like, si ni brand already.
We won't entertain divas.
No. I'm not dealing with a man child.
Amazing. Nishapenda hii energy.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
My father used to tell me that our hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m.
This is a very serious place.
I see that. Surely. Hey, Nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
It's a chair. It was hers.
You're new here?
Yes.
You learned the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system. Ni venye tu ni system haisikizi.
And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
I remove it.
That's not always going to be possible here.
Then you are going to have a problem.
Noted.
What are you planning? To escape from a resort?
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. on TV 47.
I just want to be in the zone.
Nairobi, where the hustle never sleeps and neither do the scammers.
Link Up, we are talking about something that's affecting all of us. We are talking trust.
We're diving into the campus life.
I just want to be in the zone.
Stay fresh, stay safe,
Stay linked up.
My father used to tell me that a hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. Ooh, yeah. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
This is a very serious place.
I see that. Surely. Hey, Nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
It's a chair. It was hers.
You're new here?
Yes.
You learned the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system. Ni venye tu ni system haisikizi.
And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
I remove it.
That's not always going to be possible here.
Then you are going to have a problem.
Noted.
What are you planning? To escape from a resort?
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
You have to be very careful. Fake money can kill business.
Na leo mkorada yangu.
Small money, kapesa kadogo, big behavior.
I only have big notes.
Alikuwa anatafuta courage.
Yaani nafaje kutengeneza kachumbari na manyanya zinakaa hivi? Ona kiki ni kama kiwaru.
Hiyo inaitwa commitment to the lie. Amejicommit.
Ndio hiyo. Nipatie.
Unajua kama una mtu kitu, hata tu salamu ya kawaida inakaa kama reminder.
Habari yako?
Sintalipa kesho.
Kesho gani when?
Si kesho ya kesho ya tomorrow.
Hiyo tena. Mzee ni budi nikamchoka.
Ni budi ni madeni.
Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m.
You have to be very careful. Fake money can kill business.
Na leo mkorada yangu.
Small money, kapesa kadogo, big behavior.
I only have big notes.
Alikuwa anatafuta courage.
Yaani nafaje kutengeneza kachumbari na manyanya zinakaa hivi? Ona kiki ni kama kiwaru.
Hiyo inaitwa commitment to the lie. Amejicommit.
Ndio hiyo. Nipatie.
Unajua kama una mtu kitu, hata tu salamu ya kawaida inakaa kama reminder.
Habari yako?
Sintalipa kesho.
Ayubo kuna vitu zinakuudhi, usijali my bro, ibu kama taka juicy juni.
say nay. Ayes have it.
The Finance Bill 2026 Thursday afternoon entered its final and most consequential stage, with lawmakers taking positions that could shape Kenya's economic and political direction in the months ahead.
His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua.
Leading the charge against the bill was Democracy for Citizens Party leader Rigathi Gachagua, who instructed all DCP-affiliated members of parliament to vote against the legislation and remain in the House to force a division vote, ensuring every MP's position is publicly recorded.
I have directed all members of the National Assembly aligned to our party to be present in Parliament to force a division so that there can be a physical vote, so that Kenyans can know who has voted for the finance bill and who has voted against the finance bill.
Gachagua argued that ordinary Kenyans are already struggling with a high cost of living, and that additional tax measures targeting digital transactions and financial payment risk placing further pressure on households and small businesses.
I have seen Ruto-allied MPs from the Mount Kenya region absenting themselves because they want to please Ruto and they want to please the people. There is no neutral position in this matter. You are either with the people or with Ruto.
The former deputy president also questioned the government's revenue projections, citing repeated shortfalls in tax collection, while calling for cuts in government's expenditure, including spending on travel and consultancies, before introducing any new financial burdens on citizens.
William Ruto amepanga kuiba 6.2 billion through confidential expenditure. That is money that will be drawn in cash. It's only remaining 12 days. Huyu Soprano ameweka 200 million. So 200 million divided by 12 days.
I was just trying to massage your ego, Chairman, but
I don't have ego at all.
His position found support among sections of the opposition. Kiambu Senator Karongo Wathangwa publicly opposed provisions affecting locally assembled mobile phones and electric motorbikes, warning they could undermine local manufacturing and job creation.
Chairman, let me just inform you, please.
Embakasi East MP Babu Owino also criticized proposed tax measures, saying taxation should raise revenue without punishing citizens.
When the Chairman Finance Committee is stating that taxes will be increased from 10 to 40, at that rate, it means that the consumers in Kenya are going to be hurt more.
The opposition's resistance comes against the backdrop of memories of the Finance Bill of 2024, which triggered nationwide Gen Z-led protest and forced the withdrawal of the legislation following widespread public pressure. Mike Kagwango, TV47, Nairobi.
And that story by Mike Kagwango forms the basis of our first discussion today, the finance bill. Whenever those two words are mentioned in the Kenyan context, especially after 2024, it elicits some very interesting feelings. And definitely we are in that period where the finance bill is eliciting a lot of reactions across board. Today being a Friday, we're talking to the youth. Nick Mwangi, political analyst, is with us this morning. Karibu sana, Nick.
Good morning, Fred.
Good morning.
Yes.
Also with us this morning, Vera Chepkorir, public policy analyst. Vera, karibu sana. It's a pleasure having you in studio.
Thank you so much.
And also with us, Hans Ropp, also a political analyst. Hans, good morning, karibu.
Good morning.
We're in that period.
Yes.
And now 6 days to the second anniversary of the events of June 24th, 2025. When for the very first time in Kenyan history, the finance bill was the biggest talking point. The young people came out to the streets to oppose that. And it would appear that 2 years later, finance bill still remains a big bone of contention. This time around, though, I'm not so sure whether it's the young people who are opposed to it or are politicians trying to rage bait in anticipation of what could happen next week. Nick, what do you think is the problem this time around?
You know, Fred, I was sitting down yesterday to a Kamkunji here in Roysambu just to listen to what the people had to say. And one of the interesting things that they had to say that is when the president goes to sleep at night, is like he has a checklist of 100 ways of making Kenyans' life miserable. So he wakes up every day in the morning and decides, today I want to make Fred to suffer. Let me increase housing, let me put housing levy. Tomorrow, Kenyans are using a lot of smartphones. Let me increase the VAT tax of the smartphones higher. The other thing, Kenyans are doing a lot of transactions through M-Pesa. So this is what needs to hurt them more. He puts a checklist. So people are so much livid, Fred, because this president has no interest of the common mwananchi. Because one of the most touching things that really got me, and I could see that the chairman of Finance Bill, the Molo MP Kuria, really struggling to say. Largely, people living, especially in Nairobi, including my fellow panelists, I know they will challenge this, but we live in rentals. And if you attack the rental income, it means the landlord will come to a head directly. If he has to pay more tax, it means you have to pay more rent. So not so many people are house owners. To one extent, you want people to contribute on the housing levy. To the other extent, you are killing the people who are living in rentals. So it's a tough time, Fred, and it brings out a lot of emotions and to the common people, to the common mwananchi, and it's really frustrating that he seems like he has not gotten it yet. And he seems he does not want to get it yet again. And these are the things that really get the young people riled up.
All right. Vera, there's been a lot of talk about whether or not the Treasury has lived to its promise of ensuring that there are no new taxes introduced or higher taxation measures imposed. Yet there appears to still be opposition. The CS has on more than one occasion come out to clarify on the issue of the taxes imposed on mobile phones, explaining how they work, what it is and what it is not. Yet even among MPs, we still find that the level of comprehension or clarity on this finance bill is not at the level that we had back in 2024. If we discuss some of the issues, even within your own space, do you think Kenyans this time around are clear on what they are opposing in the finance bill?
Thank you so much, Fred, for inviting me to this show. And indeed, I can attest that Kenyans are very wise people. In as much as some people or some politicians are trying to incite Kenyans on what to oppose, this time around we have very little opposition on the finance bill because taxes have not been imposed and no levies that have been imposed on Kenyans. And I like the fact that basic commodities like bread, sugar, there's no taxes that have been imposed. And we are looking at the common mwananchi. Whose interest are we looking at? Is it the interest of these politicians? The Finance Bill 2026 is focusing more on tax compliance, that more Kenyans are compliant, more agencies, more SMEs are compliant. And if we pull our resources together and make sure that everybody is compliant and we increase our revenue, then we will reduce borrowing. We will reduce dependency on international borrowing. So I think the Finance Bill 2026 is addressing the issues that are affecting the common mwananchi. There are no taxes, more taxes that have been imposed. So let us avoid propaganda and unsubstantiated claims, like I have seen Rigathi Gachagua saying that there are some money that has been allocated to the office of the president that he alludes to looting. And so those are the kind of propaganda that let us try to avoid. Even during the 2024 protests, some of these claims were unsubstantiated. They were just propaganda. There are people who just sat down and say that the finance bill has this and this, or the finance bill has this and this. But in the real sense, That was not the real thing.
All right. And I think whatever Rigathi Gachagua was referring to was a supplementary to estimates that were, I think, cleared in Parliament, about 18 billion shillings. I think it's in the dailies today, where some provisions for State House and the presidency were approved in Parliament 12 days before the end of the financial year. It is on all of the papers, and we'll be looking at that briefly. But when you come back to the finance bill, Hans,
yes,
my issue is the level of comprehension of the finance bill 2026 and the clarity that we see, or lack of, because we've had MPs arguing in Parliament, whether they were played or not, and claiming that, making claims about some supposed provisions in the finance bill, only for them to be countered and being asked, okay, which is that clause within the finance bill? Probably they were contained there previously, but towards the formal presentation, they were redacted or removed from the eventual document. Do you see a game being played here that probably they've just walked into a trap? That yes, probably some clauses were proposed earlier, eventually removed, and then that is what they're coming to argue on in as far as the finance bill is concerned.
Good morning, viewers, and let me just say, Fred, I thought differently. I think we have members of parliament who are not serious with whatever they are doing. If you notice that you can mention a clause that is not there, it means you never did your research well. Because copies were there. It was sent to parliament. So how do you say today there's a clause that was edited? Where was it edited from? You could have accessed a copy. It means you never read. Which copy did you read? Present it out to actually show that wherever that has been brought back has been changed. Mm-hmm. Because that's a serious claim, if you want to say so. And if the first one added and then the second one doesn't, it will be public. We can see it. But now it tells us that many members of parliament who probably would want to oppose it have never read it well, and therefore it will go on a hearsay. You know, I've come to know that there's many leaders we have are more into deals in government, moving up here and down to make ends meet on their business struggles. But they don't much concentrate on what they need to do in parliament. Therefore, they just go for a coffee and they get some advice from those who call specialists in it. So they come to the parliament and use their thinking. They don't read it themselves. So if you read it, and even if you follow the events of the current years for Treasury, it's been moving from place to place, engaging with the youth and discussing it. You'll notice that all those that were presented in the National Assembly has been discussed. Mm-hmm. And therefore, some of the claims that are out there is just a way that people would want to create emotions within Kenyans and Kenyan youth.
Why do you think they would want to do that? Is it in anticipation of what could happen as they mark the second anniversary of the 2020
Actually,
events?
There's no any danger that is going to happen on that day. You know, it is politics. We live in Kenya today that if today we are running for president, all of us, the four of us, and supposedly you become the president of Kenya, I as a team, we become the opposition. And our intention is not to support you to deliver from day one. Mm-hmm. Our intention is to get reasons on why you shouldn't deliver so that we are likely to become the president in the next election. And that's what happens in Kenya today. They'll always pursue anything that will taint you as the head of state because our intention is we want that job that you have. Mm-hmm. We are not ready. You will never find an opposition today after swearing in that will say, now let's stop politics. Let's support the government that is in place so for the benefit of a Kenyan. So they confuse Kenyans. If you listen to what Rigiji is saying every day, you don't see any passion to help Kenya. You just see a human being who fights a fellow brother who is in the position today for his own benefit. And that's what happens in Kenya. Politics has become self-interest. There is no interest for the Kenya. Right. And just to give my last comment on that is that we were discussing the other day with friends and we asking ourselves, in 2002, we had Mzee Moi, Uhuru, and Ruto, Mudavadi on one side. On the other hand, we had Kibaki, Raila, Kalonzo, Choi Saitoti on this other end. In 2007, Raila moved to this other end with Ruto. Uhuru moved the other end with Kibaki.
When we came to 2013, Uhuru and Ruto came together. Kalonzo and Raila and Mudavadi went to the other end. In 2017, we found the same Uhuru and Ruto on the other end, Mudavadi, Raila on the other end. In 2022, we have Ruto, Mudavadi on this other end. On the other end, we have Raila, Uhuru. So where is the Kenyan? Where is the youth? The same people. So when you study that game, is that those who are not in government will go and paint the government to be bad, so that they look like they have a face to save Kenyans, whereas they're just the same people. So it's either they support it or they get out of. We have new faces in.
Do you see some sense in what he says, in as far as the level of comprehension that the MPs have? It would appear that they would want to use the finance bill as a point to create rage within the country, yet they're also not clear about the provisions. 2 MPs have been called out, at least 2 MPs. One had to withdraw his claim about the finance bill that he made without looking at the document itself.
Well, Fred, up to 2022, I will completely agree with my good friend Hans. But 2024, it proved something else. For the longest time, people believed the late Raila Amolo Odinga was the lead in all maandamanos. But this, from 2024, it's been the young people. The Gen Z came out and said, "Look, we are tired. Things are getting higher. The economy is not working. Our education system is crumbling," and I know what the people from the government are trying to do. They're trying to deflect from the real issues. Fred, I kid you not. I was reading the Finance Bill 2026. Mobile phone tax has been retained to 25%. It means that if I'm a Kenyan who was buying a smartphone at 15,000 Kenyan shillings, it means 25% of the excess duty, that is 25% of the 15,000, that is around 3750. So I'm going to pay for this phone almost 19,000 Kenyan shillings.
No, but the clarification on that one, Nick, was that, and this was from the CS, you may counter it as well, that all other taxes that had previously been imposed on mobile phone imports have been scrapped and replaced by the 25%. That things like VAT and other small taxes, which amounted to about 26%, have been scrapped, and now there's only one tax, 25%. That was the reasoning that the CS gave.
No, not really.
Are you disputing that?
Not really. You see, this 25%, it's still an extra cost on the activation. Fred, I've given you the simple math. The phone, if you go to River Road, let's avoid what's happening on the media. What the CS is saying, go to River Road, you're buying a smartphone. Hear what the seller will tell you, that the phone that I'm selling you at 10,000 shillings will be worth 13,000 Kenyan shillings. It's simple math. We don't have to complicate it.
Are you saying that this officials at Treasury or even parliamentarians are hiding behind some technical jargon?
That's
the finance bill?
That's it, Fred.
To add more taxes?
And you know, this is the reality on the table. Not to cause any aspersion, Fred, but in today's society, very few people will read between the lines what has been hidden. And these are the issues that the finance committee, because I know Rans will really be happy when they bring the issue of Mitumba that was amended, when they bring the issue of on bread that was amended to cause deflection on the real issues. Because, Fred, let's put aside the issue of phone for a minute. Let's go to the M-Pesa transactions. How many people today, Fred, use M-Pesa?
Quite a number.
Quite a number.
Everybody.
So if you increase the M-Pesa transaction cost, what does it mean to me, Fred? What does it mean to me? If I go directly, Fred, to where you are living, most of us, a majority of us, are not living in homes in Nairobi, are still living in rentals. If I go directly to that, does it mean that we are packing our things and going back to Gishagi? Those are the issues that Kenyans are talking about, Fred. Those are the issues that are really worrying us.
Actually, I love whatever my brother is saying. is right. But there are things that we really need to be honest with ourselves. When you have an increased budget, you need to find out to finance it. Today, we've had 20,000 of kilometers of roads, tarmac road, for the last 63 years since we got independence. This regime is using this short period to do almost 6,000 roads. It means we are getting more deliveries on roads, more than any other government has done. How do you finance that?
But is it fair to burden that on, like, for example, people on formal employment? Because the challenge has been that this administration has promised over and over to widen the tax base. It would appear up until now they've not been successful in that. Is it still fair to continue taxing the same group that has been paying taxes and have felt the burden, hence what we saw in 2024?
Let me ask you one thing, Fred. You know, if today I'm taxed to get a better service, what is the benefit of me not being taxed and do not get a service? What is the benefit of you getting a whole pay? Maybe you're taxed, maybe if you're earning like 30,000, you get an extra tax, maybe around 400 shillings. But you use a bad road going on. If today you can get a better road, it means you will reduce your cost in the garage, you'll use less fuel, you'll get more accessible, even those who are in business and so on. At times, we have to be responsible as citizens to get taxed so that we grow our country. There is no way our country is going to grow unless we get taxed. And today, let me tell you one thing. This is our future leaders. My brother here would love to be maybe a head of state one day. He has to find out to finance his budget. Unless you tell us today, and you know, the president could today decide that we are not adding many tax, we live just a simple life, enjoy our income, but there's no development happening in the country.
What is your feeling about this government's attempts at revenue collection? Because quite a number of things, including technology, have been introduced to try and boost collection, yet KRA still lags behind, even meeting its own target. Same question, is it fair that we still continue to burden the same group of people with more taxation, yet the promise was that this administration would widen the tax base or the tax bracket?
I think it's a wise move. We should learn to pay taxes and be tax compliant as patriots of this country. My friend Nick and the likes like looking at the negative side of everything. They just would find something to oppose, even something small. Let us be tax compliant and love our country as Kenyans, because we will not move forward if we don't pay tax. And as I said earlier before, is that this finance bill has focused on more revenue collection, more tax compliance, and stringent measures should be put in place, taxing the digital economy and what is it? It's the digital economy and betting. To me, is a wise idea because we'll get more revenue collection. Yes.
So you're confident that KRA in the next financial year will be able to collect more?
Yes, if we put stringent measures on revenue collection, because there are agencies and there are SMEs that still evade paying tax in one way or another. They still find ways of evading tax.
If you look at the dailies today, they talk about the protests that we anticipate next week. Yesterday, some leaders went to the police headquarters to issue notice about the protests to be expected. They also asked Kenyans to stay at home on that day so that it becomes a day of more or less like a public holiday, that they don't come out to work. Do you see any link with what we are discussing? Because in 2024, the main point of bone of contention was about the finance bill. This time round, you must agree that apart from what we saw in Parliament, there's not much upheaval about the finance bill.
True.
What do you think will be the main driving force for any protests beyond just commemorating those who lost their lives?
Fred, before I get to the issue of protest, let me just rebuttal what Vera has just said. You know, Vera does not understand that most Kenyans don't mind paying tax, but most Kenyans do mind how that tax is being used. You know, for the first time, Fred, today, while coming in the morning, I normally use Thika Road. And for the first time, I have noticed between NYS to up to Pangani, I have noticed that there are 3 potholes. in Thika Road. So Thika Road, as runs, and Vera will say, Thika Road is not a county road. It's a national road. So I expect when I'm being charged or I'm being taxed that this road, which has not been maintained since Kibaki's time,
You're lying.
And they are collecting a lot of revenue from us Kenyans, I'm expecting that it should not be a conversation, Fred. We should not be sitting down here and discuss how we should be using our tax. You know, it is very, very sad, Fred, that every day you pay tax, but you cannot find the common service delivery as a common man inch. But anyway, as you say, that Kenyans don't have enough time to look at what they pay for, and we are so negative that we don't mind. Since we are paying tax, we should just keep quiet and appreciate and clap our hands when things are not working. That's what they're telling us. On to the issue that you're asking me, Fred. You know, I heard Vera say that Finance 2024 did not have any trivial issues. Kenyans were so petty that they needed to go to they did not have anything to do. So they just went to the street to make a lot of noise. But I'm really surprised then if at that point the Finance Bill 2024 had no sense, why did the president have to recall it? You know, Kenyans we are beyond the illiteracy level that was then. Kenyans are too smart. They understand what's happening in their country. That the issue of economy, the issue of better living, the issues of good health care insurance, those are what Kenyans are talking about. It's not about coming to the street. Nobody likes to come to the street and say and chant some things.
Do you think the protests next week, if at all they happen, would be anything beyond just commemorating those who lost their lives in 2024? Is there any other thing that would bring people to the streets beyond that?
Yes, Fred. I don't know. Is it that life is so hard for me, or things are just so expensive? You walk to any supermarket, you can't buy flour, you can't buy milk, you can't buy the common bread. Now the bread was from 60, right now it's at 70 bob. You know, things are that tough.
So cost of living will still be an issue next week?
Yes, still an issue. The issue about SHA, it's still a discussion, because most hospitals are still treating SHA as if it's a plague. The issue about Ebola that they don't want to discuss, Fred, I have seen no logic.
What about the airport?
Yes, I was coming to that issue.
In 2024,
yes,
there was the Adani deal.
Adani deal. I will come to that issue. You see, like I said when we were starting this conversation, Fred, it's like this government has a specific plan to sabotage itself. Because this government that was voted in came in with a lot of promises. And it had good ideas that people voted it in. However, they promise heaven, but they're delivering hell.
All right. Vera, do you think the protests next week, if at all they happen, because they've already indicated and given notice to police that they intend to have a protest march in commemoration of victims or in remembrance of the victims who lost their lives in 2024. But if at all you go back to 2024 and look at the issues that led to the protests, do you think that the same or similar issues will be present in the discussions to fuel this protest further than just a commemoration?
It doesn't matter whether there will be issues that were there before. My issue is demonstrating the solution.
So will there be issues?
Demonstrating the solution. There might be issues. Some of them might be incitements. Some of them might be tangible issues. But as the youth of this country, let us change our narrative. Let us change our tactics for once. Let us be the people, the sources of the solutions. Let us propose these policies. What is this that we want as a country? We need to grow economically. We need to grow socially. We need to grow politically. I have not seen Rigathi Gachagua's children going to the streets to protest. I have not seen Kalonzo Musyoka's children going to the streets to protest. These are the people who have their children in the best schools, international schools, and yet they incite our youth. They reduce our youth to be goons. And there is no tangible ideology that they are taking to the streets. It is either one term, Kasongo must go. They are not giving us solutions to these problems. And so let us really think through, sit down.
You seem to appreciate the fact that there could be problems that could be genuine. If I told you to point out 2 of them that would probably be part of what people are protesting about next week, beyond the remembrance of victims, what would they be?
One is youth unemployment. Youth unemployment and job creation. We really need to improve on the policies on creating youth employment. We need to embrace skills development in our country. We need to embrace manufacturing so that we don't have a lot of youth who are idle. When you go outside there, and you'll easily get 10 youth whom you'll pay 100 shillings to go and protest, because we have a very idle youth population.
And some of those things you talked about could be remedied through the budgetary process.
Through the budgetary process.
Now that
and I actually appreciate the fact that there is more allocation, budgetary allocation on youth employment. Yes, that is something that Nick and the likes are not appreciating. They like looking at the negative things. So I appreciate that health allocation has been increased. I appreciate the fact that education has been increased. I appreciate the fact that infrastructure and youth employment budgetary allocation has been improved. And these are the things that we should be advocating for when we go to the streets. I have not seen a youth go to the streets and say, oh, we need to increase allocation on vocational training, because this is where we will find skills. Let us not just go to the streets and chant 1 term, 2 term for the interest of this.
So you feel that this administration has already addressed through the budget process some of these issues that may come up?
Yes, these issues have been addressed.
Okay. Yeah. Hans, protests are coming up next week. Of course, according to the organizers, it's purely for remembrance of the victims. But we've heard voices saying that because of the kind of dissatisfaction, cost of living and other things, they would also come out, be part of the protest, but as a complaint about those things. Do you identify with that kind of thinking, that there's need to go out to the streets and complain about some things that led to the protests in 2024 and are similar even this year?
I support remembrance. It is good to go and remember the youths who we lost, and it's just a way of celebrating them for the fights they did and changes that we've seen so far. But to go and maybe take advantage to still want to fight is not, you're not adding value to your country. It means you're taking advantage of the situation to want to be the bad person or to do it wrongly.
And the Constitution provides for picketing and protests. Why would I be a bad person if I go to the streets?
Article 37 of the Constitution, to be specific.
And you know, when you talk of demonstration and picketing, we've said here before that it is in the Constitution. And we've seen good countries doing it rightly. They march on the street. They buy a certain uniform, maybe a T-shirt, and they brand it, and they go and table their petitions. But what do we see in Kenya? We go and loot businesses of our fellow Kenyans, fellow brothers. If you have issues with the head of state or the government, you go, just go through the street and you loot a business of your fellow person.
Do you believe that there are reasons for people, genuine reasons for people to go out to the streets next week beyond remembrance and probably protest? Do you believe there are reasons?
I wouldn't want to answer as you've asked it. I would want to say that there is no perfection. When I try to check on this budget that we have for 2026-2027, there are many good things to appreciate about. And since there isn't 100% perfection, there could be one or few that maybe was not done as we expected. So do we run away with the ones that has not been done, or we appreciate whatever we see is great? Do we have in a weighing scale? Are we honest with also the good things that we are receiving from this budget, or we just want to fight the government negatively? Just because, and just to mention a few, you notice somebody comes here and says and mislead Kenyans that there's nothing the government has done. Government has built 23,000 classrooms for JSS just in this regime. We'll never say that. They have employed over 100,000 teachers. We'll never say that. In this budget, they have a budget to confirm 20,000 interns in the education. We'll never say that. In this budget, we've seen, in this government, we've seen a stable dollar for a longer time, which means a good thing for business people. We'll never say that. There's been fertilizer has been a good price for longer. We'll never say that. You get it, and those are things that really helps our people. I've told you we are doing around 6,000 kilometers of roads. We'll never say that because President the other day mentioned that everywhere I go all over Kenya, people ask for road. And how do you make that road? By going into our pockets. It doesn't have, there's no sudden, we have something as Kenyans, and more when we do not want to open our thinking well, that there's an imaginary finance somewhere that the government is going to use to finance all this project. It is through us being taxed. And just lastly, to give my feedback on that is, youths need to understand the time is going. We are not going to be in the youth bracket for long. Ruto is not going to be president forever. Even these old men ahead, they will all retire. We'll be in these positions. That's when now sense will come to our thinking that these are things that really need to be done. And we will be taking responsibilities, being asked these questions that we're asking the government. What we need to do is to be honest with ourselves, that truly we need to be part and parcel of building our country. Where we have a challenge, and we need to ask the head of state, is we still have government officers who are corrupt and they do not deliver. They use the money that have been budgeted wrongly. That's where we want some tightening. We are talking about carrier attaining their targets. Carrier need to pull up their socks. And so those are things that we need to come and discuss now. We accept that we have to be taxed to develop our country, but we want better accountability going forward. Okay. And just to give a feedback to my brother, never say again that Thika Road hasn't been maintained since Kibaki built it those years. There's a budget to maintain Thika Road every year. Even today, if you are car stalled on Thika Road or you get an accident, there'll be a double cab to get you out. Thika Road is one of the best maintained road in Kenya. You rarely get stuck or bottled. If there is a bottle that maybe you have come across, it might not survive a week. It will be repaired. And today, even if we go, you'll find a stop-up car somewhere. Yeah. It is maintained yearly. And probably, if Ken have not realized, that reports, there are 3 potholes between Utali Drift and the Pangani interchange along Thika Road, heading towards town. And they need to be checked.
Yes, because,
how did you count that 3?
It's been consistent.
How did you arrive at 3?
It's been consistent. I have observed it for the last 1.5 months, Fred. By the time a Kenyan is raising an issue, it's not that we are blind to everything that's happening in this country. And
Fred, just for you, I just want to say one thing. You've asked us, do we see any sense? I want you to ask my brother, does he see any good sense that is in this budget? The same way you've asked us, do you see any wrong?
Okay, he'll answer that after.
But of course, Fred, what Kenyans are saying, it's the level of insensitivity that the president has. He forgets that he's dealing with human beings, not animals. And we have observed right from onset, because if all these issues were discussed right from 2024, we could not be here. Vera is acting as if she's buying bread at 50 bob. And we are both buying bread at 70 bob. As a matter of fact, she's expecting me to say that because she cannot say it. She's buying milk at 80 or 70 bob, which was from 60.
Maybe where she comes from, there's a supermarket that sells at...
I want her to show me so that my people can go there every morning. But that's not the issue. This real issue about protest, and I don't want Vera to be really more insensitive about it. There's one person that I really remember, the 21-year boy that was selling masks in town, in CBD. He was selling masks. I think Vera saw that clip, that he was shot on the head, not even on the leg, Fred, on the head. So you cannot water down the feelings of Kenyans.
They were arrested and they went to court.
All right.
And you see, just to be it, and the way they are quick at implementing some things. For example, passing hideous tax laws, passing controversial elements of the day, Kenyans are just saying simply, we need a healthcare system that favor us. Okay. We don't want to go to the hospital and struggle. We need when I go to the supermarket, the bread, I can eat bread. Mm-hmm. You know, it's and I said it here on a lighter note, but let me repeat. It is so alarming, Fred, that you see people every single day running in the morning. They are running not because they don't have anything to do. It's because they are afraid when they go to the hospital, they will not find Sha working.
Okay. Now, looking back at 2004, because as we agreed, we are in that period where more or less what was happening in and around this time in 2004 is almost repeating itself this time around. Issues about the upgrading or building of a new airport, these were issues that people were complaining about. They had done a deal back then. Now we have similar issues where Kenyans are demanding for more transparency. On this deal about the airport, you can see it on the front pages. On issues around the Ebola quarantine facility that the court has even ordered for clarity or for the deal to be made open and public. Do you think that to some extent this administration has created problems for its own self by failing to communicate in a better way about such deals? How difficult would it be to make public a deal like this one for upgrading the airport? Why is it difficult to make public a deal or a very important deal like the Ebola quarantine facility, which a court has ordered? Why is it difficult to just open and say, this is a deal? Don't you think that in that sense, this administration may have failed itself and caused more problems from the public?
I agree that there should be transparency, especially in procurement processes. But again, at the same time, we should stop politicizing such things. Let us allow the system to work. Let us allow things to work as expected. Because if we preempt, Davis Chiri yesterday said, and it was on record, he declined, and he said that there is no such a deal that has been struck. So it is propaganda. Let us be patient. Let us sit down and wait. Another thing about, I agree about the Ebola quarantine facility. As a public policy analyst and as a public policy student, public participation is an integral part in policy making decisions. So I agree that public participation was not done to the expectations. So we should come back to the people really and ask them, is this, do you want this facility? Yes or no? So we should involve people, we should involve the youth, we should involve the women.
Wasn't that the same problem back in 2024 when many people say, okay, fine, the government is doing everything right, but probably their communication is where they're failing. This is 2 years later. Have there been any improvements?
Yes, there are so many improvements, and actually President William Ruto and the administration are good listeners. We are in a democratic country, and I can agree that the level of democracy in our country is very high. Actually, in Africa, I think we lead. We have leaders who listen, and they listen. Just go to Uganda here. You cannot stand up and talk as you want. You cannot stand up and say one time, Museveni. You will be as good as dead. So let us appreciate the fact that we are
we're better than Uganda.
Yeah, we are better than Uganda and even other countries. Article 33 gives us the freedom of expression, but we misuse it as Kenyans. We misuse it a lot.
Okay, maybe the airport may not be as critical to many Kenyans, but issues of health and a possible outbreak, Kenya's never had any Ebola case. This time around, we may officially be importing the first case onto Kenyan soil by agreeing to that deal with the US. The court has ordered or directed that the deal be made public. The government is hesitating. Don't you think they're just repeating the same mistakes they made in 2024 in as far as communication is concerned?
Yeah, I've always had issues with communication from government. There are many good things that is happening in this government. And I want to urge those who are in charge of communication that they may actually share out information to the Kenyans. There's a lot of changes in every departmental, parastatals, ministries, great things that are doing for this country. There's been serious development, but there's poor communication to the common mwananchi. We have failed on that. and we have failed Kenyans on that. We want to ask the government that they should improve ways of communication to people.
On this Ebola facility?
On the Ebola facility, I also support that let there be transparency in every process that is needed. But having an Ebola facility in Kenya is a very good thing.
For American citizens only?
Not really.
Because that's a deal. The Ebola facility is only for Americans.
Yesterday I had chairman for Senate Committee for Health, Senator Mandago, and he really mentioned something so nice. He said he was a governor then when COVID came, and we were not prepared. We didn't know how to manage COVID. And even under county governments end up having cells and quarantines to arrest people who drink at night and those who travel, because we were not prepared for anything. There's something that we must accept. Ebola has no boundary. And all these diseases have no boundaries, like even the way COVID came. Whether we have quarantine place in Kenya or not, they could likely be a spread to Kenya. The advantage is having a quarantine place in Kenya and having the facility well equipped. It could benefit us as Kenyans. And also you remember that as we also have our Kenyans that are outside and more even in Congo, who are our officers and our kins, our brothers who are working there, they could still be victims. So whatever this means is, as much as you would want to imagine that Ebola is being brought to the country, see at the positive end whereby the same quarantine could not be there, and then we have a case of Ebola spreading in the country. It still benefits us. So let me tell you, Fred.
The deal is with the Ebola quarantine facility, unless the government clarifies, is that it's purely for Americans.
No, it's not purely for Americans. In fact, you had the Cabinet Secretary for Health saying that it's not the only quarantine facility being done in Nyanyuki. There are many.
But this particular
all over
one
the
we're
country,
talking about, the one being set up by the Americans, is only for Americans.
It's not.
Have you seen the deal?
No, yeah.
Have you seen the deal?
I haven't, but I've had the officers. Where do you get the information that it's only for?
The reports we got came from U.S. media. That's where, for the first time, we encountered this issue. And according to U.S. media, including Fox News, it is for American citizens who are in DRC and have contracted Ebola, then they're quarantined there instead of being taken home. That is a communication we have, unless we see the deal and it tells us different.
So you trust whatever you saw it from the U.S., not from what the president said. The president talked about an investment of almost 1.6 billion US dollars. You get Kenyan shillings.
So you're saying, as Hans Ropp, that this facility is for Kenyans?
It benefits all. It benefits all Kenyans and the American citizens who could be flown here for help.
Fred, you know, Hans does not want to. He's blowing hot and cold on this issue. It's very simple. The element of Ebola, again, I said it's very insensitive. It's actually, you tend to wonder, how convenient is it that at this moment we need to transport, we need to all of a sudden become so clever that we need to have an Ebola facility, and especially in Nanyuki. The other thing, I was looking at the map, and I see between Kenya and DRC, there are other countries who are neighboring. So I asked myself, why not Uganda? Why not Rwanda? And why not the smaller Congo? Because there's Congo, Brazzaville, and the other DRC. So, and again, this government cannot, or Hans cannot answer this question of how many Kenyans, as of now, what is the probability of them getting Ebola without traveling? Number two, Hans is not very clear and cannot defend the government of the day on this issue, that this Ebola, you know, Ebola is a viral disease. It has no cure. You can only manage the viral load. You can only manage it. And its side effects, you die within seconds. How many Kenyans will be able to what's the word? To afford being in a quarantine level? It's not cheap. It's not cheap, Fred. We saw how many Kenyans died during COVID because they could not afford to go in a quarantine level. So people are being asked to stay in their doors. And you know, one will want to think that the president of the day, he's dealing with Kenyans. By the dealing, I mean, it's a transactional process. He really does not care about the lives of Kenyans, how they live, how they survive, especially people from Nanyuki.
All right. These are just some of the discussions as we anticipate the anniversary or remembrance of victims of the 2024 protests by Gen Zs. They were dubbed Gen Z protests, which should be happening next week on Thursday. And what other things could come into play, other discussions, other complaints, other issues that Kenyans would want addressed that could actually find their space or their route to these protests? I guess we just have to wait and see. What I want us to address next is something that continues to grow, and it's around political security as we get closer and closer to the next election. And Vera, I want to start with you, the issue of goons. Once again, it's related to a discussion around the budget that was happening at the All Saints Cathedral, and you saw goons, at some point even accompanied by police, getting into the church, coming out, then coming back again, and attacking people inside the church. This is not the only time that we've had or seen goons used in political circles. As we continue getting closer to the 2027 elections, these cases are increasing in number. What is your view about the police handling of goons?
I think the police are doing their job because as it stands, there are 5 people who are already in police custody following that attack in All Saints Cathedral. So I really appreciate the fact that, but let me ask, who are these goons? Who are these goons? It is us, the youth. It is us, the youth. And why do we accept to be used in that manner?
The reason why I'm asking about police is we've seen police in action against protesters. That's why we are talking about victims of police brutality when it comes to victims of the protesters of 2024.
Yes.
We are talking about instances where we see police interacting in close proximity
with protesters,
with some of these goons,
yes, and
not intervening. Fine, they're investigating after the fact, but don't you think they would have been in a better position to stop some of these things?
You know, Kenyans like distracting people's property in the name of demonstrating. Demonstrating is okay, it is a constitutional right. But why do you vandalize people's vehicles? Why do you loot in people's businesses? Is that really demonstrating? And you know, as you fight for your own rights, and at the same time you're violating somebody else's rights, then you will definitely face the law.
Hence police come in and intervene.
Hence police come in and intervene because you are violating someone's else's right.
How come they're not intervening in obvious criminality when they see goons doing this, walking into churches, disrupting people who are just going about their business, yet they cannot intervene? Why do you think police are not intervening?
They have intervened, Fred. 5 people are in police custody after that attack in All Saints Cathedral. I think you should have your facts right. Yes.
That's not
action
intervention.
That has been taken.
Intervention to stop. That's intervention by investigation after the fact has happened.
Intervention to stop?
Intervention to stop goons from attacking.
Goons from attacking. You know, nobody knows how these goons go to a place to attack. Some of them disguise themselves as participants only to go there and make the attacks. So by the time the police are realizing that there were some distractions or damages that have been caused, it's already too late.
So they were caught unawares.
Yeah, they were caught unawares.
Do you agree with the same that police are doing their very best, and in such instances where goons commit crimes, it's only because police are totally caught off guard? They're not able to intervene.
I really do not want to call it off guard. It's just a game, you know it's a game. It's like how you'd play with your mother. At times somebody would steal sugar, and you don't wipe your mouth nicely, you just go. I think it's a game, Even when you are young, you wait for your mother to step out that you want to steal sugar or probably those kind of just a pussycat game. This is what happens. These goons plan. They're also smart. I still remember during the Gen Z demonstration, youths would go in 2 pairs. They were used to be there. There's trend. There's story of being financed somewhere, and I've said it before. So they used to go in 2s. They meet somewhere, they are paid, but you have to go in 2 so that you keep your partner. You must deliver what you've been paid to go and do. So they put a matatu in twos. They don't come as a team. And then they know where to go and converge. So they travel all day from morning. By afternoon, there's a serious number of people in town. That is number one. So they play the game. The police also would love to provide security that is necessary. But at times you block this suit, and because some of them are under the influence of alcohol and so on, that's what they do. They are bought drinks and so on so that they do not fear anything. So when they are blocked from demonstrating or any kind of goonism, they want to force it out. And also police are forced to use a lot of force either by shooting or beating them up. The same officer still knows that if I mess, I'm going to end up in court and lose my job. So we have two incidences here whereby a goon is playing his game and also the police officer is trying to.
Are we confusing goons and protesters? I don't know. I'm not getting you clear. Yeah. Are you saying that the protesters in 2024 were goons? I'm talking about the goons that we witnessed probably this week.
I'm coming there. I'm just trying to say, we've mentioned that the protests that happened in 2024 were peaceful until there's an infiltrated team, which is goonism, that were paid to come in twos, as I was explaining. They act as protesters, but the intention is different. For the ones that went into church, we also want to request the security department, all the way from our cabinet secretary for internal security, Kipchumba Murkomen, that is a laxity. There is a loose end. I heard him explaining the other day that they could even be goons organized by a church and so on. It doesn't matter whether it was organized by anyone. It means the security must be tough at any other time. Yeah, because the government knows those things happen. It means at times people can even attend an event and plan goonism to be attacked for them to attack to get sympathy. But the government needs to have that intelligence early. So we want to request the DCI and the Minister of Interior to be more vigilant on that. That one they will not go without it. Only my challenge is to the judiciary, that when these people have been arrested and brought to you, we want to see them getting better fines, getting more high bails. Why? So that these things should never happen again. At times the police performs better by arresting and doing so on, but in the long run, you also realize that the judiciary also leave these people, but there'll be a corruption and there's nothing happens. You heard about an OCS the other day who released 300 people that had been arrested. So such kind of laxity.
That's the question. There seems to be an unholy union between police,
judiciary,
and the goons.
And you know, Fred, I don't know if Hans or Vera was in this country when the Senate of Vihiga was attacked in plain sight by goons. And the same police jurisdiction tried to deflate the issue. They tried to politicize as they are telling us right now. But one thing and one dangerous thing is condoning this element of goonism. I was watching that CCTV camera down from Ngong Road all the way to all. These were goons coming with motorbikes. And if Vera does not know, I want her to go watch that clip. The number of women and ladies who were harassed and pickpocketed on that day shot from 0 to 25. Phones taken, handbags snatched, beaten physically, injured. Those are not something, we should not be discussing such kind of issue. And you know, Fred, you have been to, the moment you enter Ngong Road, there are usually police marshals there or police traffic officers who operate with radio calls. So to signal the fellow traffic officers is very easy, but it's very much convenient for them, and it seems to be they in cahoot with these goons, because how come we know that growing up we were being told that serikali iko na mkono mrefu, but at this element, Vera is trying to tell us out of a number of 150, they have only arrested 5. But During the protest, they could allocate specifically where Nick Mwangi is living and where he's staying, and they release their details, and they come for me in my house. It's very much convenient. And you see, these are the things that, politics aside, Fred, you cannot put the life of Kenyans at risk. Any organized crime is a threat to the country. That is where we go the Haiti way. And we cannot reach there as a civilization. It is terrible. It's not something that we can discuss, not something that we can defend Kipchumba Murkomen or the president of the day or the inspector general. It is something that they need to work on as soon as yesterday.
All right. Yes, goonism has been one big discussion, especially after that unfortunate incident where a group of goons, with knowledge of police because they were there, actually attacked a group that were discussing matters budget inside the All Saints Cathedral, inside a church. Our question is, where were the police? What were the police doing? Because if you watch the video, you can actually see officers in full uniform. What happened? Why did they not intervene to stop that kind of criminality? That's one question we're asking. As we come to the end, because I can see we have exactly 7 minutes, I'd want to give each one of you an opportunity to give your final comment. But there's a very interesting story on the front page of the Star newspaper. And this was discussed in Parliament. Bang divides MPs push for change of law. I know Gen Zs and how they entertain themselves, and the younger Kenyans, how they entertain themselves. Do you think, as you make your final comments, do you think this is a valid discussion to have? Whether or not we should legalize bang in Kenya? As you make your final comments, let's start with you, Hans.
Just to add on with just a spite as we hen. Who are these goons? Very syndicated, it's us youths. As much as we also want a president and security to behave, can we also behave as brother's keeper, sister's keeper? Can we stop not being used for goonism? Okay. That is my request to the youth. And just to give my feedback on the legalizing of bank. You know, I'm a Christian. I'm a born-again Christian. And but then when you study about the story about bank, you realize I've heard the senator for Narok, Ole Kina, Ole Dama, sometimes back discussing in the Senate that we should legalize it. We call it cannabis. Cannabis, yeah. And because in other countries it is the same drug is even used to treat cancer patients because it's used to reduce the pain and so on. I do not know much about it. But if it's danger to our youth, you know, at times we politicize everything in Kenya. We need experts to tell us if is there how it's beneficial to the country other than endangering the lives of the youth. And maybe you should invite the presidential aspirant, Wajakoya.
Tell us more about this. All right, thank you. Nick?
Well, I think MPs are arguing from the point of medicinal.
Yes.
And being in that kind of industry, not as a user of bang, but coming from an experimental kind of view, the argument is because, as Hans will say, because the cannabis element is being used for the inflation of pain. And most hospitals will recommend it to be used so. However, it's a very controversial issue because of the generation that is there today. And we have seen a lot of side effects of people going to Madare due to the use of cannabis sativa. And for now, let me say we are not ready as a country for such kind of discussion. Until then, I will urge our MPs to hold.
All right. Yes. Finally, Vera.
I can say too much of something is harmful. Fred, even if you use Panadol in excess, it will be harmful to your health. So the problem is not legalizing bang. The problem is the users.
How much we use?
How much?
Kadogo tu ni sawa.
No, Vera is talking as if she's a user.
So it is about regulating and controlling how we use bank, but it has its medicinal values as well. So
and the security lapse also might endanger it. If the government can ensure strictness, you know, if there's security lapse, it can easily be overused.
My parting shot as youth, let us love ourselves. Nobody loves us. Those people who pay us to be goons, they don't love us. You will not see them using their children to be goons. And in this country, goonism has been a culture ever since. And it is used in all the political divides, be it in opposition, be it in government. All those people use goons. Even, I know even Hans, when you when you are in your campaigns, uko na goons wako tu pale mtaani. So
I don't want to confirm or deny.
So I think it's a time where
goonism,
youth should be innovative. We are the people who should drive change and bring ideologies that will really transform this country. Let us advocate for those policies. Let us be innovative. Let us venture in agriculture and value addition. There are so many opportunities out there other than being manipulated by these people.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Nick Mwangi, Vera Chepkorir, and Hans Ropp, our political analyst this morning, as we take a look at the youth perspective. Big discussions about what has been big this entire week. But before I let you go, because this is a special episode, and we're dedicating this to the fathers in our lives. It is Father's Day on Sunday, and we're anticipating that. I'd like to give each one of you 30 seconds for your Father's Day message to whoever you consider a father figure, even yourself or the person you call dad, or someone who offered themselves as a father to you. Nick?
Well, one of the things that, let me say, Fred, we men, we are really not celebrated in today's society, and we take in a lot as men, not in a bad way, but it's by design. But one thing that I would want to appreciate first is myself as a man and as a father, and because raising children or coming up with children and taking responsibility is not an easy job. Secondly, one is to appreciate my own father, who raised me up to the man I am today, to the bold man I am today. He took me to school without complaining, right from, we used to call them nursery, right? Hands, right?
Yeah,
to
millennials.
Yes, to campus. The man put up a lot of effort and struggle. And then finally, you know, my good friend Anne was complaining I was lost, and then she shouted, you know, after you got married, of course, my father-in-law is a good man.
All right.
He's a good man.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy Father's Day to great men out there. We are rarely celebrated, and it's a good time that I feel this time round there's some acknowledgement. So I want to celebrate my dad. I'm lucky to still have him alive. A man I admire, a man who stood by me. At times even I say there could be even some of my failures in life because he stood with me. But many of successes is a gentleman that I want to celebrate as we celebrate this Father's Day. And all men out there are many battles you fight that you don't say. The society hasn't given us a platform to speak so much for us, and like women. And many times we are accused of many things. And at times you fight. There's a time I told my wife, I was in a PS office from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And he left 4 p.m. saying that he's going to another, he's been called urgently by the
He never had time for you.
Yeah, he didn't have time. And we just have to go home happy and show them a success face. You know, that's what man is.
Thank you.
We celebrate you, men.
Thank you. Finally, from the lady.
Okay. These men have said that they are really appreciated. So let me take this opportunity to appreciate all the men, all the fathers who have stood the test of time, the resilience, and especially my father. I've really learned a lot from that man. Yeah, that you should always work hard without complaining. So happy Father's Day to all of you. See, tunakwanga na Mother's Day, Women's Day, Girl Child Day, all those. Hata ile ya maandamano itakuwa Women's Day. So happy Father's Day.
Thank you
in
so
advance.
much.
So, yeah.
Let me also take this opportunity to wish my dad, David Indimuli, a happy Father's Day in advance. Thank you so much, Dad. You're the best. And I am what I am today because of you. All right, this is a special Father's Day celebration edition of TV47 Breakfast, and we'll have a lot more discussions after this. We're going country today. Pitmaster Sam, founder Barbecue Adventures and Events, Kenya, and Street Anthem Barbecue. Do stand by for that. Very interesting things coming up. Shoai Jay Shabado, also DJ Blue 254 will be here with a country music edition. Happy Father's Day, and to all our viewers, good morning and have a lovely weekend.